Hey, welcome back to the Art Away, and thanks for joining me again. I know it's been a while, and hopefully I still kind of remember how to sketch, because sometimes you do kind of lose a little bit of the repetitiveness, and you kind of lose some of the touch. So hopefully it hasn't been that long that I can actually make a decent drawing from this. So I'm gonna be drawing this character from Squid Games, and I'm just gonna draw it from my phone here. And let's see how that goes, because yeah, it's been a while, and I am using my 6B pencil, and the reason I'm wearing a hat is because I don't want my hair to get into the camera as I'm drawing. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this and see if we can fit everything in the screen here. So she's definitely got a very unique look. So I'm just gonna roughly, let's try it this way. I'm just gonna rough out her overall face shape first. Kind of strange holding a phone and drawing this, but all right, let's try this. Okay, so that's gonna be the size of the face right here, and let's see if I can divide up the spaces nicely and actually have an accurate drawing. Okay, so here's her eyes, her nose, and her lips. She's got a larger lip. I know she's a model, so I guess that's why you look good as a model with larger lips. Okay, it's definitely very unique. Okay, so let's see. I hope you guys can see that. I'm sketching really light right here. So I'm just gonna come up here on her nose. And her eyes are a little bit further apart. Okay. So just like my other videos, I'm not gonna spend too much time on trying to get actually I almost forgot my eraser, the lightness on the face, because again, if you want to draw something with super close to what it is, the face and stuff, you might as well just kind of just trace it or something, use any kind of drawing aid. Lightbox works great. Okay, so let me see. I'm just kind of checking roughly. Okay, so I kind of have the face lined up. So let's go ahead and sketch it in. So I'm going to start with the eyes. Okay, and I am using a 6B here. So I'm just going to draw the top of the eyes. So it's very sharp right here. And it kind of slants up slightly on the corner on the outside. Here's the eyeball, and she's looking up. Okay, so let's try that. All right, let's try the other one. Okay, so usually the space right here is one eye apart, and she does have a little bit wider space right here, and which is kind of more typical for Asian faces. Okay. Okay, so that's her eyes, and I think it actually looks okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shade it. So let's see. Right here, I'm just gonna draw in the pupil. And it looks like there's a little bit of highlight right here. I'm just gonna draw around it, and I'll just shade it black around it. Okay, so very, very simple. And I am using a 6B, so it's gonna be nice and dark. Okay, so the top of the eyelid right here, underneath is dark. And even for the eye right here, there's usually a little bit of a cast here and a shadow from the eyelids. Okay, let's draw in the other one. So here's the pupil, even though I can barely see it in the reference here. Here's the highlight, and I'll just shade around it. Again, kind of slanting up slightly. Dark on the corners right here. And then again, a little bit of a shadow here on top of the eyes from the eyelid. Okay. And let's see, let's continue around the eye. I'm just gonna spread out the features from here. So she's got kind of like a bag right here, which is kind of a prominent feature in the face, because, you know, I guess she is in prison. So I'm just gonna shade this in very lightly. Yeah, it's been a while sketching, and I can definitely feel it here. Feeling very stiff right here. Okay. All right, so a little bit more shading up here. How the eyeball kind of goes around. So this part right here is dark. And then let's go ahead and add in the eyebrows real quick. Yeah, good way to loosen up by drawing the eyebrow. Just kind of, just go with the direction and just shade it in real quick. Okay, so this one doesn't have a lot of dramatic lighting, which is not as fun, I guess. Okay, so now let's come down to your nose. So right here, the nostril is going to be right here, the wings come down. From the eye, you go down straight, that's going to be right around there. Okay, maybe a little too wide here. Okay. Gotta make sure everything is in frame, so sorry about that. Okay, so it's coming in here. Here's the tip, and then here's the nostril. And I don't know if you guys can hear the airplane outside. A lot of little noises. Okay, so for the nostril right here, so you can almost draw like a line right here, because this is going to be all dark. So right here, I'm just going to give it one shade. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker right here. This will be, I guess, the kind of like the Terminator where the light's falling off. So you can always kind of exaggerate that a little bit. So the nostril, once I shade this in, then the nostril needs to be darker, because everything is relative. Okay, and let's see, let's continue down. So I'm just making little adjustments as I go. So again, her lip is larger, and you can actually kind of exaggerate that a little bit. You know, I mean, not in terms of like a caricature and stuff, but whenever you see any kind of features that are a little bit more prominent, you know, if you exaggerate that on that person, it kind of helps to give it a little bit more lightness to it. So for her lip right here, so her upper lip is going to be slightly darker. So I'm just going to give it one shade first. Okay, so very quickly just do that. And then again, corners right here, it's always, this kind of dips, goes in. So this part's going to be slightly darker. So that's going to give you almost like a little V shape right here. And that's just the features of the lip. So right here, I'm going to make it even darker. Right on the crease. Okay, so here's the highlight down here. The lip right here is darkest. And then just gonna give one shade right here first to make sure I can save the highlight. Okay, and then now I can kind of blend it in a little bit darker in the inside right here. And you can add some of those lines as well. Okay, so just leave it like that, and let's see, here's the chin. So now let's refine the chin a little bit. Eyes coming out here. Pretty straight line on the side. So cheeks coming down. Hair's gonna be right here. Now we can add in some of the hair. Goes around, comes in toward the lip here. And my lines are very angular, you know, it's just a way to sketch. it's almost like an envelope. You're just kind of going around instead of drawing a curve, because it's harder to judge one full curve. But if you draw in like, you know, little lines like this, then it's a little bit easier to control. I think you see a lot of artists kind of do that as well. You know, they start off lines very angular, and then, you know, once you have it, the placement, then you can go in and you know, smooth things out. All right, and then her ear right here, slightly higher. So those are the minor features. Let's not put too much emphasis on it. Let's see, let's continue this down. Let's go ahead and draw in the collar, just to anchor things down. Should be out here. Okay, placement's a little bit off. Okay, so now let's come back in and give it another pass. So that was kind of like the first pass, and now let's add in some more shading. Okay, so the eye in here, corner, darker. So now, all right, let's just go for it. This part right here, there's always like a little highlight right here, because this is kind of like the lower lip right here, lower lid, and that's going to catch the highlight. So that's why you want to leave a little bit highlight here. So just make the bottom a little bit darker. It comes out here, and then here's the nose. This part, here's the highlight of the cheeks. Okay, so I actually drew in a little line like that. It's okay. I mean, you know, if you really want to touch it up, you can always go in and just kind of erase it out. But I'm just going to leave it because it's not a big deal. It's nice to kind of leave little sketch lines anyway. So here's the corner. So this part right here, it's darker. So I'm just going to come in here. Okay, so that'll be the same thing here. Okay, so here's the chin. Here's the highlight of the chin. So now I'm going to shade the bottom right here. This part is the darkest on the chin on the bottom. And then it's just kind of smooth out a little bit because this is round. And then again, once I've shaded this, and now this becomes a little bit too light, so I'm going to go in. Very soft. It's looking very messy, isn't it? Okay. Let's see. Let's continue this. Just some more shading. The nose right here. Okay, so this right here is light. Right here is light. So this part is slightly darker. And then here's the cheekbones. Okay, this comes around. Right here is going to be dark because of the hair. So I'm just kind of going around. And here's the corner right here. The eyebrow needs to be darker, and let's see, let's give this one shade. And let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's getting there. I mean, it doesn't really look like her. So I'm just going to add in more shading. Let's just go for it and really get this going. Because something is missing. It looks like I'm not getting the general form of the face. So I'm just going to squint my eye. So this part's dark, 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 very dark here. So I'm just going to, let's go back in and draw in the darkness one more time. Dark. Light here, the lower lid. Bottom is dark right here. Dark here. So I'm turning in order to get some crosshatch lines. I guess normally you can also turn the paper as well, but you know, I don't want to move the camera too much here, or the paper, because it's kind of hard to see. All right, so now that I have this, the rest of the face here needs some work. So I'm just going to add in some hairlines. So again, I'm just gonna keep this angular. I don't want to grind with the hair. Okay. Goes up. So this part right here, dark. Okay, let's finish this part up. So right here on the hair, this will give us the profile. Nice little line here on the cheeks. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit that pretty hard. Okay, just go ahead and make that dark. Then now I can draw in the rest of the hair right here coming out. So the hair is very good at defining the shape of the face. So that line right there needs to be really nice and lots of contrast. Here's very dark right here. Okay. So let's continue on with the hair. Let me see. I'm just checking my camera. Hopefully won't run out of battery or anything. Okay. Yeah, so this time I actually have a camera on myself. Okay, so with the hair, come down, shadow, cheek. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better with this, because by drawing the hair, it kind of forces you to, be a little bit looser with everything. So here's the hair coming down, chin, neck right here is gonna be darker. That's gonna help bring out the chin right here. Okay, so overall the neck's gonna be darker. Cross hatching. Oh, sorry, wasn't even in the frame. All right, it's okay. That wasn't too important. All right, hair. Let's just keep going. Ears darker, so I'm just gonna give it one shade, and then now I can define it better with the hair around it. Okay, so this part's dark. Okay, I won't go too far. It looks like it's kind of like that, right? Yeah, kind of somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit too much. And then all these little parts right here. I'll just balance it out since we have some hair on this side. Okay, since I have a camera on me, if I make funny faces, don't laugh at me, because I do tend to make faces. I tend to tighten up my lip a little bit when I'm sketching like this. And I've been made fun of when I was in school back then, so. I think you guys probably do that too, So when you're really into drawing and stuff, you just kind of ignored everything else. Okay, so yeah, the top, okay, I'm not gonna go too far on this, because it is kind of a lot of this kind of shading. All right, the reference is running out anyways, so I might darken it later. But let me fill in, try to give a little bit more shading on everything, just to bring out the form a little bit more. Okay, so it's gonna be dark all around here. The wings of the nose, underneath, shadow. Okay, the lip. The lip is red, so we can actually just make everything darker right here. Because if red was black and white, it's gonna be almost pitch black. So we can afford to go a little bit darker, and it'll probably make her look a little bit better anyways. underneath. This part's a little bit darker. So now I'm seeing a little bit more. It's like, you know, whenever you start shading, then you start seeing more and more little subtle things. And that's just how it is. You know, unless I was like a real pro and stuff, then, you know, I can recognize that. And I think you've seen a lot of people being able to sketch like that, and it's pretty amazing, right? When you see it, it's like, geez, it's like, how did you know it was there? Okay, so it looks like jawline's a little bit too close. So I'm just gonna correct this. Okay, the reason I'm correcting that is because it does affect the lightness. Okay, so here, right here, so this part should be a little bit darker. Gotta get this shape right here. So I'm gonna shade it a little bit more, just so I can get that little, like a little rounder shape here, right? And then let's see, keep going here. Comes down. Yeah, I'm just bouncing all over the place. And my strokes are, for this, it's kind of like, I'll show it down here. So it's more like this kind of round shading. You can cross hatch, right? Or you can just kind of draw these little circle shapes. That works pretty well too. Yeah, so you want to make it a little bit harder where you just kind of push in a little bit. Or just turn the pencil a little bit and then just kind of hit that a little bit harder, and that's how you get, you know, all kinds of variations on it. All right, so let's just keep going. So nose right here, there's some highlights. This part right here needs to be darker. So now this part, yeah, this in the area around the brow right here needs to be darker. Dark, dark, dark. Nose. This underneath the face, okay, needs to be a little bit darker now, so just correcting things. Chin right here should be a little bit darker as well, because the lightest spot is right here. So the chin right here, it doesn't have this bulge right here, so it needs to be a little bit darker than this. Okay, so that's how you can kind of judge those things. So if you know this is going to be slightly darker, then just make it darker than this, and it will kind of help to build out the form. So this part right here is pretty white. Very subtle. Nostrils, I can hit that a little bit harder. Oh, maybe not. No. That actually makes her, yeah, it's not a lot of detail here. Kind of made her nose a little flary. Okay, so I can't go too small because my pencil is really dull right now, and I don't really care to sharpen it. So I'm just gonna keep things loose. I think the lips can probably go a little bit darker. Okay, so I think it's pretty much everything I kind of want to shade. If I want to add in more detail, then, you know, maybe I can sharpen up my pencil and really go in and, you know, drawing those little details right here in the eyes. But right now, at this point, just a lot of little finessing. Dark right here. All right, so how does that look? I don't think that looks like her. Does it look like her? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, the feature's a little bit off. I mean, I think this eye is way high. It needs to be moved in. But okay, you know, again, I'm not that good at drawing things accurately. And the whole purpose of this was to you just do another little drawing so I can, you know, have fun, just kind of sit around and do some shading. Okay, just something loose. All right, yeah, so that's it. I'm just gonna end it from there. I mean, I can kind of keep going, but yeah, I don't want to push it too much. All right, so it's kind of messy. Kind of looks like her. I think, yeah, she's a lot better looking than my drawing, so that's not a good thing. Usually you want the drawing to look a little bit better than the person, but right, not in this case, because the drawing needs some work. So I guess it wasn't too bad given that I haven't drawn for so long. All right, so I'm back, and since the drawing turned out really bad after I looked at it again, so I had to kind of fix it. So I'm using the eraser here just to dab it, just to soften things up. I think I made it way too harsh. After that, I end up using a stump to just try to salvage this drawing. But at the end, I think it was slightly better, but still it was a very bad drawing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little drawing, and hopefully the next time around it's gonna be a lot better. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.